think I've ever had it.
I was waiting. I was just waiting.
It's like fries with gravy and stuff on it. Cheese.
Welcome to Decades, hosted by Chris Rubio. Decades is a show made up of 5 generations of people brought together to discuss topics you wouldn't normally talk about with others. The goal of the show is to learn by having some good, possibly heated discussions, without losing the simple fact that it's okay to talk to different people with different opinions other than your own.
What's up? My name is Chris Rubio, host of Decades. We've got a fantastic big show. Sub 60 Ed, he's the producer, co-host extraordinaire / dog watcher. I guess he's babysitting some Shetland ponies or something like that. So he's going to be on and off. I don't know what they're doing. Or you're not even in your normal like Taliban cave, Sub 60. Where are you? Are you at their house?
No, I'm actually upstairs in my kitchen right now.
Oh. And so the dogs are just roaming the house right now?
Yeah.
They're not going to be barkers, are they?
No.
Taliban cave, holy shit.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I fixed that. If you look at the last episode, I'm in the process of fixing the Taliban cave. I'm coming out.
Well, it's about time because honestly, it was depressing. I just kept waiting to see you holding up like the Washington Post with a date.
Well, I was going to do that, and actually, I was going to have some of these guys behind me with the machetes.
I got it. We've got Crazy Man, we've got Guy, we've got Hannah, we've got Kyle, we've got Alex on tech. One person that we do not have, and is one of the initiators, one of the first people. Hello from Muggy, Florida, David Bazinet. Man, I do not want to be there right now. One of the people that's not here is Jim Gingrich. Jim Gingrich, 1 year ago today, took his own life. He was one of the original members of Decades. It's been a rough day for me, for Hannah, for everyone involved. Sub 60 Ed. A lot of you guys don't know Jim. He was from the start, and he loved this show. I mean, he absolutely loved Decades. The weekend before, 48 hours before he passed, we talked on the phone, and we had an outstanding, I think it was episode 19, and we were heated going back and forth, and he's like, that's exactly the way the episodes need to go. We need to be a little bit more hot. We need to be able to agree to disagree, and that was Friday night I spoke to him. Sunday morning, he took his own life. And so our message is to just make sure you check on everyone. Make sure you try as hard as you can. Even if you think someone is 100% fine, still reach out. Just, hey, bud, what's going on? Just want to let you know I appreciate you, love you. You need to talk to me. It doesn't bother me. Okay, whatever you need to do. Hannah, is there anything that they can do if they're going through something along the lines that we are going through right now, where it's just like, okay, today sucks. Like, it's just not a good thing.
A lot of people say, hey, don't put your phone number on LinkedIn and shit like that, but I'm sorry. I put it on there all the time. I'll put it in the chat if somebody wants to put it up on the bottom there. Anybody's having a struggle, freaking call me, man, or email me. I'm sending you my personal email as well, because the worst thing in the world is not getting the call, until after the fact. That doesn't help anybody. And I will never get pissed off at anybody if they wake me up in the middle of the night, because typically it's between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. where people are battling their demons, because they're alone. It's dark, it's cooler, it's quiet, and their mind is just racing. So before they give into hopelessness and helplessness and surrender to that shit, call me.
Yeah, and Craig's number for all the listening on Spotify and iTunes, it's 520-678-3551. That's 520-678-3551. You can obviously rewind this. And his email is Craig Hannum. That's the 2 N's in Hannum, 42@gmail.com. That's Craig Hannum, 42@gmail.com. So shout out to Cindy. Big hugs from Idaho and all of us from Virginia, wherever else you guys are at, Canada. I don't know where everyone else lives, but we're going to have a good show. We're going to do a great one for Jim. It's getting a little spicy. Let's spice it up right out of the gate. Last night was the first night of the DNC, Democratic National Convention. I read some stats. We'll talk about irony, and then we'll talk about stats. So it's in Chicago, and everyone that knows, if you've been paying attention to anything besides mainstream media, you know that Chicago is an absolute war zone, which is wild to know because they have some of the strictest gun laws of anywhere. And so I guess the criminals just aren't reading the laws because I think roughly, you could probably do the average is about 60 shootings per weekend and probably in the teens of deaths. Just, people are dying just weekly. It's a weekly occurrence. And if they were strict about gun violence, they would go to the root of the cause and see what's actually happening. So the conventions at the United Center, where the Bulls and the Blackhawks play, great little place, been there several times. They had put one fence around it, then another fence, and now they have 3 fences around it because yesterday they already broke through. So we can talk about the irony of that. They also have brought in, I think, 10 times the more cops, which we can talk about the irony of that. And then also to get in, you have to show an ID. So we have to talk about the irony of that. Kyle, you're shaking your head. You're the youngest on the panel. Tell everyone where you're from and what are your thoughts on this?
So I'm from Jersey. So pretty Democratic state because we got Trenton and Elizabeth and all the North Jersey places. But I mean, just the ID thing alone, because they are opposing the whole showing ID and citizenship so you can vote to begin with. That's just crazy to me that they're even opposing that. Because I mean, it truly makes sense that if you are going to vote in a presidential election, you should be and you have to be a citizen of the country of which you're voting for, the controller of that country. That's insane to me because I know all you have to do is check a box that you're a citizen, but they don't do anything beyond that. That's crazy.
I agree 1,000%. Crazy man, what's your thoughts on the triple wall, the ID, the extra cops?
It's definitely shows that they believe on one hand safety, but also on the other hand, they want to get people in the country illegally. Defund the police. They only use it for when it benefits them. And that's definitely what's going on right now.
Yeah, it's just insane. Craig Hannum, what is your thoughts?
Oh, it's the epitome of hypocrisy. I mean,
that's him.
I agree with Crazy Man. They're going to use it when it benefits them, but I find it interesting that when I go for a doctor's appointment, I have to show photo ID to verify that I am the patient. If you get carded, you're out buying a beer or a glass of wine, whatever, show your ID. It makes zero sense to me.
Rent a car, get on a plane. Can you pull that David Bassett up?
Yeah.
Comment. Sub 60. The Democrats would cease to exist if they stopped illegal voting. That's why they fight it so hard. I mean, it's hard to argue against that.
Yeah.
So, Guys are Canadian out there. You don't understand. El Trumpo wanted to finish the wall on the border, and he wanted $15 billion, and they said no, that's too much. Ironically, every single year right now, okay, we're spending $451 billion on illegal immigrants. That's per year. I mean, that's insane. Okay. And 15 billion was too much. And the Democrats, they want no voter ID. They just want you to just go in. You don't have to show ID. And they are all about defunding the police. I don't know if you heard about that about Canada. They instead of saying want more police officers, okay, they want less police officers. They want more social workers. So if all of a sudden, Crazy Man's out there and he's beating the hell out of his wife in the house, don't call the cops, call the social worker, because that's going to solve that problem a lot quicker. So, Guy, what's your thoughts?
Crazy Man's wife would probably take him out. I know his wife. So I'm just I mean, it wouldn't be much of a battle.
There's a reason why I've been married for 27 years and 39 years together. I just say yes, dear.
I was going to say she beats you if you say no.
Yeah.
So, Guy, what's your thoughts?
I thought I was spared this question, but I don't know. Months ago, I had to make a choice between following Canadian or American politics, and I had to choose the Canadian politics. But if you ask me, I'd say if you're going to vote, you should probably show some ID. I mean, can anybody just show up and vote unlimited amount of times? How do they keep track if you're not showing ID? I don't understand.
That's a great question, Guy. That's your Canadian mind. That's what it's very obvious. We'll go to Hannum and then Grew.
What's funny about that, when I was in Iraq in 2008, my second tour, we got voting established. It's pretty cool. It was kind of stressful because we had to guard the polling station and all that jazz. We could come under attack, whether it be a vehicle-borne explosive or a suicide bomber. But the challenge was, how can we keep track of who's who? Because they don't have IDs, and 50% of Iraq is illiterate. So each person had to take their right index finger, dip it in this purple dye to show that they voted. So they were verified. And this was at the time a war zone, and we still verified voter registration, if you will. It blows my mind.
It seems like a no-brainer. Gru?
Well, of course, IDs should be there. There is no question about it. In California, we actually have two kinds of IDs, one for citizens and one for just people who are here, okay? Well, it's kind of crazy. But anyway, as far as fences and whatnot and police, when the whole defunding the police was in full force 4 years ago, our mayor had a big police escort because he was afraid of protesters. So it's kind of ironic, you know, they use police only when police is needed to protect them, but not to protect the public.
Yeah, sub 60.
Yes, it's totally hypocritical. We need to work. We don't need to shut the border down. We need to keep the border, allowing people like Alex and our friend Marco legally
Okay.
have a process, have it where they're documented, so they can have controls. It can't be an all-out flood zone. There has to be some kind of controls in place. And yes, they're representing a very hypocritical process, saying they need an ID to get into the convention, but anybody can vote. It causes problems. It's bad optics. Yes, it's to everybody else's point. To everybody else's point, you have to show an ID pretty much wherever you go.
Exactly.
To the doctors, to whatever. Hell, I even have to show an ID to vote. I mean, when I go down to the school that's right next to Crazy Man and myself, they say, I mean, I'm the only sub 60 probably.
I was going to say, why do you need an ID?
They say, hey, you need an ID.
They can't recognize you after the first time?
No. And, you know, it's like I've lived here for 24 years. So even me, sub 60, needs to present ID at the voting place. And let me tell you, when I go to vote, it's not a packed house. It's like, and there's not many of me. And, you know.
How many sub 60s are in your city? Have you seen another?
No, I think there's another sub 60 that lives down south. Not many.
What does that mean? I don't speak Virginia.
Like, you know, Virginia's a state. You know how Idaho's a state?
Yeah, I mean down south, like what?
That's like southern, southern, like the southern part of the state, like
an hour away, 2 hours away, 2 minutes.
I don't know. It's not like I don't talk to any. I don't know. Hey, if there's any sub 60s watching, or if you've seen any in the local Virginia, please comment because I don't know. Let's have coffee.
Starting to tell me that Ed's not a very nice guy and he doesn't like.
Yeah, I don't. Why don't you get a group going? Like a little meet greet.
Because you don't want that, because we're going to take over the world if that happens.
I know.
Yeah, the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah. Jesus. That's like one of those things. One of the questions, like, would you rather be attacked by like a bear or like 1,000 mice?
Yeah, you do. You can anything with over the. You have to go behind the counters, pharmacy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point, Jim. Because you buy Claritin D12. You know, because it has they think you have to show an ID to do that. Because you can't buy too much because I might be running a meth lab out of my basement. Maybe.
Okay, let's go back to my question. Would you rather be in a ring with a bear or 1,000 mice? Kyle, go.
Bear.
1,000 mice.
1,000 mice?
1,000 mice.
Guy.
Mice or rats here? Mice?
500
there's a difference for me.
mice or one bear.
1,000 mice? I'll go with the mice.
Crazy Man?
Bear, quick and painless.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning to. I might dive into his mouth. I mean, that's the thing. I'd rather him bite my head off than if he gets
giving up though.
Going. Gru?
I would say bear.
Canham?
Definitely a bear because, sometimes you get sexually confused mice and I don't need them going places I don't want them going. So I'd rather get slashed out by a giant bear. And at least I could say I was eaten by a Kodiak bear.
Who the hell are you talking to?
You're dead.
You're dead.
Well, I'm just saying, my story would be out there.
Bragging rights. Bragging rights.
Bears rip your skin off.
I'm not going to grab my phone and say, hi, guys, I'm being eaten by a bear right now, which is much better than 1,000 mice.
You're telling
Where
me
did we get the
it's-
just stop it.
It'll definitely sound better going down the bare necessities here.
You sound like a tough guy.
Oh, rough.
Yeah, but the problem be because I've read that bears, like a lot of times they play around with their kill. Like they don't just kill. They just like
they will
rip your guts out.
before they kill you. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that would piss me off. Like I would have to know that he's going to kill me. I'm assuming it's a he.
You can play dumb and just play dead, and sometimes they'll sniff and walk away. At least you
But
have,
no, we're at an octagon. We're in a UFC octagon.
Mice can be all right.
oh,
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
In an octagon? The
Yeah,
mice
it's
are
like
going
the
through the hole,
UFC
man.
octagon.
I'm fine with mice.
They
Like,
might
why
not
did
even
the
want to
conversation?
attack you. They'll probably run away.
Why did the conversation automatically go to we're getting eaten here? Like, you guys went dark right
Because
away.
it's my game and I'm the host.
All right, man.
The show goes the way it's going to go.
That's good.
Okay. All right. Also, last night at the DNC, I read this stat. I just talked about it on the Rubio Method. Great show. You should check it out on YouTube. You can tell a lot about priorities. All right. Priorities. So here's the words that were mentioned. Inflation was mentioned 3 times. Everyone's kind of concerned about inflation. Okay. Prices have gone up. We know that. The word prices was mentioned 5 times. And so we're talking about from 5:30 to basically midnight. So it's about 7 hours. So prices 5, inflation 3. The word crime, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know sign language. Crime was 6 times. People concerned about crime. The word border was 8 times. Okay, we're getting there. Economy, everyone's concerned about the economy, was 27 times. Okay, so now we're getting there. How many times do you think they used the word Trump? 147 times. That is, and if you're thinking to yourself, okay, Rubio, okay, but how many times did the Republicans use the term Joey B, not Joey B, but Biden in their 4 days of convention? 4 days of convention total, 2 times. 2 times they used the word Biden. And the first night, if you want to talk about Trump having, or them having TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, or him living rent-free in their heads, 147 times in one night. What does that say to you, crazy man?
That basically says that they're using a scare tactic.
100%.
They're using a scare tactic to drum up votes, and that's what they're definitely doing. And if it's only 140 times last night, how many times will that be by the time the end of the convention? And
but that they have to run on that because Kamala's website still does not have her policies up. Still, no one knows what she's running on. It's insane, Kyle.
I mean, the whole, from my point of view, from being someone so young, is that the past 10 years, you did see a large portion slowly start to drift towards Democratic and the liberal side. But now, a lot of people are going right back to the conservative. I wouldn't even say I'm Republican. I'm libertarian. I'm right in the middle. I honestly would, for anything, I would be a Kennedy. I'm a Kennedy supporter. But I mean, just the whole Kamala Harris, the way she's running, her, the one event that she had where it was called Hose for Harris. Did you guys see that? Where it was
thank God.
Megan the Stallion.
Oh yeah.
And it was twerking and then that's just ridiculous. You should be a presidential candidate with some level of respect. When did it turn over to this feeding into this demoralization of the office? It's just crazy.
Well, to save democracy, they had to have no Democratic vote and place her in there 28 days ago, and she still hasn't done an interview. That's insane.
Yeah,
it's literally insane.
You can't be what is it, a month and a half, almost 2 months out of the actual election and have no policies in place or do no interviews.
I think they're gonna pull the Joey B card in 2020 where they're just gonna hide her.
For sure. Oh yeah.
Because Joey B couldn't go out because the Rona was very, very scary. And so they're going to just hide her because
especially with this whole, the monkeypox thing, they're trying to flash it again. For sure.
And what were you saying about that, Kyle, earlier? You've heard colleges are already starting to lock down for that?
So I heard a couple of high schools in California or Pennsylvania where there's big outbreaks of it. They're saying they don't want to go back to school. There's some rumblings of another lockdown. I mean, even if you look at social media, one of the big proponents is information nowadays is TikTok for kids my age.
Mm-hmm.
And at the bottom of it, when Corona was the big thing and there was a big issue, there was a little tiny bar at the bottom of the screen that said, learn more about the coronavirus. Now it's popping up, learn more about the monkey.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
Hannah, I think you said it. If anyone falls for this, they're just a moron.
Oh yeah, 100%. Man. Come on. I mean, it cracks me up that freaking Harris. I mean, she's got to be the biggest asshat in history when she says, on day one, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Hey, dumbass, you've been in position for 3 years.
do it.
Why don't you fix what you broke? I love that she's campaigning to fix all the shit that she is responsible for.
Yeah.
It blows my freaking mind. And then
It's
I'm
like-
like, when I hear people going, oh, I'm 100% supporter of Biden Harris, I'm like, okay, all right, we need to talk. You need mental health treatment. You need mental health.
Because for Trump, that's what it is. They're so scared of Trump.
But yeah, doing 147 times for Trump, that could be one of two ways. One, it could be subliminal. So everyone's like Trump, Trump, Trump. But I think it weighs on the side of inciting fear.
100%.
You know,
When you can't run on policy, what else are you going to do?
create fear.
I mean, it's just insane to me. I just don't understand it. Guy, have you heard about this monkeypox thing up in Canada? Because God knows you guys will lock down faster than anyone.
I mean, I heard that they found some trace of it in water in Newfoundland somewhere, but as far as I know, no reports. I don't know. I'm trying to stay away from the news, man. It's too much crazy shit going on in the world right now.
You know what you need to do is just watch the Rundown with Rubio daily.
That's worse. You kind of concentrate all the world's drama into one spot. So
That's what I got to do it. Everyone's saying mice. I don't see it. Gru?
He's the way to go.
No. 147, 140. Oh, afraid of Trump. Yeah, Bazinet, 100%. Let's move on. We're gonna stay on controversial topics because Sub 60 is not here to run it. The two final female boxers at the Olympics had the XY chromosome. Discuss.
Oh
yeah, Daddy.
Only men have both chromosomes. Period. Only men.
And then their argument is that they are actually females, but they just happen to have the XY chromosome. So this is one of those, because I was talking to the judge about this, and he goes, they're considered females. So what would you do? And I said, you just got to ban them from the sport. They lose. It's one of those things that, I'm sorry, you got this dealt. Mr. Jesus didn't like you or something like that, and you got the XY. You lose. Sub 60 Ed, not going to the NBA. He loses. Okay. Me not sitting comfortable on an airplane. Sorry, I lose. It's one of those things that it's not fair to them that they got the XY. I guess they're a female. I don't know. But it's one of those, they have to lose. Gru, what's your thoughts?
Well, I agree that they have to lose. You know, if they have those chromosomes, they're not who they say they are. They basically need to be banned from the competition. Okay, that's it. There is no other way, in my opinion.
Okay. Crazy man.
As a father of a daughter, I would say, yeah, they have to be banned. I mean, you're taking away females that literally legitimately work their asses off to get where they're at, to lose to a man or a person that does have the XY. Just like I'm not a big fan of professional athletes going to the Olympics. It should be amateurs.
Okay. Guy, what's your thoughts on this?
I mean, I have my opinions, but this is a whole new topic for me. So let me just make sure I get this right. Physically, biologically female, all the female body parts, but has
allegedly. I haven't seen. Has anyone seen them naked? I don't know. Allegedly, they have no junk downstairs.
Is this a known condition? Like, is this?
Yeah, it's one of those like once in every 12 billion people. So you're born with XY. You just you got it.
And does that give you any sort of advantage? Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Testosterone and
more testosterone. I mean, if you saw these two girls, it was very obvious that they were not running down the female section. I mean, you could tell. It kind of looked like me.
Yeah, the one chick, yeah.
So that, I would say, like, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, right? But now I'm a basketball player and I'm 6 foot tall, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I'm pretty tall playing basketball, but I'm facing a guy who's 7.5 feet. I said, well, that's bullshit. So how is this a little, like, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Mm-hmm. How is this different if, they're biologically?
It's playing different because you're both males. And you have no advantage. His advantage is taller, but it's a game of being tall. If they were chicks that were benching 400 pounds and lived in the weight room, I'd be like, okay, but other boxing federations have banned them. That's the
the
problem.
ICO did. Yeah.
The Olympic Committee is just a tad bit quote unquote woke. So they're like, yeah, one, all blah, blah, blah. And the other federation said, yeah, dude, you can't box here. I mean, look at your skull.
There's side effects of having the XY chromosome. One, enhanced bone structure, muscle mass, girth, height, the strength aspect. You know, those are side effects of being XY holding chromosomes individuals. You know, and if other outlets have banned them, oh my God. Well, you know, let's not read into it. We did allow breakdancing, and that chick from Australia, man, she knows how to rock it, right? But you know, LA is like, we're not doing breakdancing. You know, 28 because it's just stupid. But if other outlets have banned people from doing it because of the simple reality down to the genetics, then there you go. That's your answer.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally going like Bill Nye the Science Guy on this one, where you're like, okay, I can obviously see it's past the point of does she have boobs, should she, you know, what are things like that. We're down to the science of X, Y. So in your stream, it's literally your chromosomes. I just don't see the argument here. Gru?
Well, I've heard the proposal to replace break dancing with pole dancing in the next Olympics.
See, Gru. No.
Classic Gru.
It'd be great, but no.
My thing is like nowadays is like because you have so many people that are like transgender and that are switching over and they're taking different testosterones and different hormones. Like eventually, what's just going to happen is that they're just going to have their own league,
which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, that's how the way it should work. If that's what you want to be, that's what you feel like, whatever, great, more power to you. But if I'm the one that's in charge, and I'm not, there's no way that I would be putting a transgender woman to a man or a man to a woman in the same octagon with a 120-pound natural-born female. That's just insane. There's no way that works out for anybody in the long run. It's just going to look bad on everybody. And
it's weird how you never see the women who transfer to men go to men's sports.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's always the men, like the Leah Thompson thing. It was a man who came in like 5th or 6th place in his league, and then he transitioned to a woman, and now he's like the top swimmer, beating out Riley Gaines. Like, that's crazy.
Mike Donnelly says, nothing to discuss, XY equals male. I choose science over feelings. Yeah. Yeah, there's a famous Ben Shapiro quote says, your feelings don't take over my facts. Or something along those lines.
Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah. Something along those lines. 100%. All right, let's move on to a little fluffier question. If you could have any pet, any animal as a pet, and let's say it's trained. So if you want like grizzly bear, you could roll on with a leash or whatever. Maybe you wouldn't even need a leash. It's that trained. Okay. What would it be and why? I'm going to start. I'm going to go silverback gorilla because I think that would be awesome. Imagine just rolling around to like a bar with a silverback gorilla. On a side note, I'm wondering if I could go like shark. Would I be able to like ride it to get like places faster? Because I don't think any bird is strong enough to carry me.
It's like the Dr. Evil laser beam sharks.
Yeah, sharks laser beams. Yeah. So I'm going to go silverback gorilla.
Lasers on their head. That's all I want.
Terry Crosby wants 1,000 mice. Hannah, what's your pet you want and why?
It'd be a timber wolf. Because I did K9 in the military, and I have an affinity for dogs. And I actually had a wolf hybrid long time ago, right around 2000. She was 90% timber wolf and 10% Siberian husky, and she was just gorgeous. Got her as a pup, trained her, all that jazz. Very obedient, very loyal, very protective, and she just had this presence about her. It's just a gorgeous animal.
Okay, I like that. Guy, are you guys allowed to have animals in Canada?
Yeah.
Gerbils, right?
Personally, I like pets, but at other people's houses. I like to visit them more than I like owning them. But I mean, if I have to pick, I'd probably get like a magpie, move to like a really busy town, and train it to like fetch me money from the streets and stuff like that. Just have it.
You chose a tiny bird.
Yeah, I don't want to have to care for something. This thing will bring me cash.
No, it's like self-sufficient. Maybe you have to pick up its crap, but how do you not go a moose? You're in Canada. You'd be like a legend.
Or what about a raptor, like a hawk, an eagle? Something
Yes.
like that?
All right, well, whatever.
Jesus, Yee.
Well, we know what to give him
I
for
really
Christmas.
like the
man.
idea of a bird bringing me money. All right.
But to get a chimp.
Have
A
you ever
chimp
seen
can
a
grab it.
moose, man? That thing's huge.
Bottlenose dolphin, we could go fishing together. Yeah, but don't you go freshwater? Scarano, can dolphins go in freshwater? So you're to just kill it.
I don't think he's necessarily in fresh water. I think he's also out in
the
salt water because he lives
Okay, crazy
he lives
man.
close to the ocean.
Chris, you said there was no limits to the pet.
That's true. That's true. My bad. Crazy man.
Orangutan.
Oh,
Crazy.
I just
I'm
love
okay with
watching. Go to bars. I remember watching Any Which Way But Loose.
But Loose.
With Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
Yes.
I always
Strap the
loved
caddy,
orangutan.
but
yeah.
chimpanzee, what did you say? A baboon?
Orangutan.
Orangutan. But don't you think a silverback gorilla would be better?
Yeah, it's a little
For a bar fight, yeah.
Silverbacks are huge.
Yeah.
Sub 60?
Goats.
Huh?
A goat?
I want no goats.
Why do you want goats?
Because have you ever seen goats? They are like one of the coolest animals. It's like they're almost like trainable like dogs.
I think there's something else going on there, Ed.
Now goats and or like a Malin, like kind of what Craig was saying.
Belgian
One of
Malinois.
Belgian Malinois, the train from a pup. I had a
I
guy down
thought magpie was the worst answer, or magmoo, or whatever he said. But goats might be worse.
How's goats worse?
Because all they do is crap. They're like rabbits, and they just eat everything.
They're so friendly and just cool. I mean, that'd be a cool one.
see,
And my
you
dog is
gotta
Goat
do
on the goat yoga.
exactly.
Yeah, no. You two grew.
Yeah, there you go. There, hold on. Jim S is yes, exactly. I'd never have to mow. I don't mow it anyway.
I was gonna say.
I pay somebody, but that's a good point. My problem is they have a short lifespan. But then after that would probably be a Belgian Malinois or probably like a Siberian tiger would be nice.
Oh, see, now that's a good one. I like that.
Now
You're talking sub 60, but you're magpie and
I
goat.
I mean, if I had to go really exotic, I like all the big cats.
Okay,
Like
sub
the
60. I gotta
jaguars.
move on. Enough of all the history of animals here. I gotta move on
we're
to
not
Gru.
doing, but I got to catch up. I was off. You missed me while I was offline for a couple
No,
of
we didn't.
segments. So.
No one missed you.
No,
You said
y'all
go.
missed.
I missed you.
You said
I don't
go.
think
Thanks,
I literally
Kyle.
got one
Thanks.
person said what sub 60.
Thanks. At least Kyle knows where. That's fine. You know what? That's fine. How about I
Gru.
just go back offline?
Gru.
Okay, I would like to
Like
own a Black Panther.
That's a good
Black
one.
Panther, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
To a crowded bar and see how people are running away.
I didn't understand one thing he just said there.
He said go to a
about
bar
your
and do
mother. I don't know.
something. He said bar and go something.
To go to a crowded bar and see people running away.
Okay, I heard bar and run.
And he said run somewhere.
Running away.
Gru's getting fired up about the Black Panthers here.
Yes.
Kyle?
Dude, the monkey from Hangover 2. For
Oh
sure.
yes.
Easily.
See, that's a good one. That's a really, really good one. I like that a lot.
Luchin monkey, training how to do everything. Go fly out, go get a girl's phone number. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And see, that could steal you money, not some stupid little tiny bird.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're insecure, Rubio. I get it, man. You need
No,
to.
I think it's a bad choice. Like, how much money can that bird get you?
Bills, buddy. Bills.
I know, but the bird, if you really think about it, that bird's got to time it up to where like someone's paying for their Starbucks. Boom, magpie comes in. Kyle's monkey could just walk right, boom, into the purse.
Yeah,
Take
right.
the purse.
Yeah.
Go in the back pocket.
It
I
would
know
be
we
it's
were
a looting
attacking
machine.
people here. I didn't know we're attacking people. I was just
You're the one that literally said you wanted to attack people for money.
no. People could
Oh,
drop
no,
money
no.
on the ground,
Okay.
Where are you at where people are dropping money?
in New York City, in
In
the
Canada,
subway. I don't know.
I guess they drop money on the ground. You gotta go to
I
that.
got it
Canadian
like that in
place.
Canada. Trudeau's got him.
I don't know. Sub 60, take us to commercial real quick.
Today's tip is about a new way to protect your computer screen from prying eyes, patented by Microsoft. The tool could be used in public spaces to blur or scramble the parts of your screen that you are not actively looking at. The patent broadly outlines a technique in which a webcam or other sensor tracks the user's gaze. Except for the area the user is looking at, the whole display is scrambled or blurred, making it invisible to anyone walking by. As the user gaze shifts, the clear area shifts too, maintaining privacy around any portion of the screen not actively utilized. Most people are not hackers, and most of your fellow coffee shop visitors, bus passenger, or conference attendees have little to no interest in looking at what's on your screen, let alone copying it down somewhere. But that isn't easy to say. Visual hacking can or doesn't happen. If you're particularly worried or simply embarrassed about what's on your screen, a tool like Microsoft's could benefit you, if it ever makes it into a real world. This tip for a great show called Decades is brought to you by Alex on Tech.
Nice job, Gru. Welcome back to Decades. My name is Chris Rubio. We've got Sub 60 Ed, Kyle. Sub 60 looks so excited right now. Guy, Crazy Man, and Alex on Tech. Gru.
Hey, hold on. Check out see, there's a little bit more light now. I got some light in my dungeon. Check out the light. See how it's a little bit brighter? A little bit brighter. Working on it.
The only lights I'm seeing are geese. That's just
I see geese.
Yeah.
Fancy dancy.
I mean,
never mind. Sorry. All right.
It goes along with that It goes along with your theme of Deadskins.
Are the Redskins going back to Redskins now?
Not yet.
So.
They're working on it
Because they're getting sued, right, by the tribal nations.
One of the congressmen from Montana has talked to one of the tribal leaders whose great grandfather worked with the Redskins on designing the actual logo, and basically they're trying to get it back to the Redskins. Though ownership has said when he first bought the team that they weren't going to do that. So I don't know. We got a quarterback that looks pretty good. We still can't score. I mean, hell.
Well,
I just can't wait. Yeah, go Birds.
Go Birds.
My family said, my Philly family says that all the time. Go Birds.
The irony of the Redskins logo is that's an actual chief and an actual Indian druid.
That goes to show you how crazy this country is. They thought it was racist to have it done, but to your point, a tribal member worked with the Redskins, and it's an actual tribal chief. So it's really a symbol of honor, as opposed to something racial. And that's where this country is a little sideways at this point. They look at things a lot sideways. They look at things, and it's like.
And I would say,
that's bad.
When you remove Aunt Jemima because she's black, well, now you've just taken a black person off the label.
Yeah, good thing we did
that. And they say look at that, and they say that was, and there's a story behind that too. I don't recall it right now, but there's a story behind.
Yeah, she was like a famous baker or something.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't. It was something to do to promote her and what she did, and then the world looks at things and says, no, that's racist. We're so ingrained in this mentality now that things are always bad that we don't even take a moment and say, hey, maybe there's some good in that.
I do.
Yep. Well, you're perfect, and nobody can be like Rubio.
Not perfect. Far from perfect. Let's talk about the UK. The UK has just released 5,000 prisoners. Some violent, some non-violent. Released 5,000 prisoners. Why? Okay. Oh, there you go.
Hold on. What did you type? What did he literally type that when Rubio? Aunt Jemima.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, I know. Aunt Jemima. There you go.
So UK has released 5,000 criminals. Okay, some violent, some non-violent. Why, you ask? Because they are going full speed on anyone on social media and or public. If you online shame any immigration reform or if you protest against immigrant reform, you can be thrown in jail. They've opened up 5,000s because they want to ramp it up right now. What are your thoughts on that, Kyle?
Well, here's the funny thing. I guess the UK forgets that one revolution happened and it was successful. Sooner or later, the people in the
USA.
Sooner or later, the people in the United Kingdom are going to get so fed up. I mean, you can look at what happened. Did you guys, anybody see that clip of people in Ireland throwing Molotovs at the police for like something for the immigration? Like the people that live in these countries are so full. I mean, you think we have an immigration problem? Right. These people that have been, I mean, my family is from Ireland and Germany, so my whole family is European. So, but you're having people that are living in Ireland. I mean, people don't even speak Celtic anymore or Gaelish. And then you also have all these people coming in and literally destroying your country's your country's personality because they're trying to push their own belief in there. It's taking over little by little, and sooner or later, it's just going to be the whole country. It's going to be It's going to be crazy.
Well, and if anyone's watching right now and they're thinking, "Oh, that can't happen here, that can't happen here," I just sent Nick Monahan, who's out in Minnesota, I think it's Minneapolis or one of the cities, or maybe it's the whole state. They just passed a law that the Islamic bell, I guess it has to ring 5 times a day for prayer or something like that. Yeah. And now it's going like where the city courthouse is. They're ringing it every day.
Rubio, I'll do you one better. In New York City, there's cop cars. There's cars that look like cop cars that are driving around Muslims, like solidly Muslim communities, enforcing their laws on the people that live in the community. They're like Big Brother in 1984. Like they're patrolling these streets, pretending like they're cops. Like for like women not wearing like their shawls, like they will stop and they will yell and get out of the cars and freak out.
Jesus,
get up! You can literally look it up there. It's called and it literally has it's like MCP or something. It's like Muslim Community Patrol or something like that. And they're literally convicts rolling around looking like them.
Wow.
It's insane.
Crazy man, what's your thought on the UK thing?
I mean, it's going to spread. I mean, once the society stops believing in the woke, and you're going to actually have civil war. I mean, unfortunately, it's going to come because you're going to have people on the right that don't believe into the woke society, or it's like, look, if you want to come to this country, you do it legally. And if you do it illegally and you want reputation, there's going to be civil war. And unfortunately, you're going to see that this November.
I don't doubt that. Sub 60, Nanu, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. No. Live long and prosper. And I do it naturally. Anyway, Crazy Man was saying we're going to civil war. I personally think we're already in one. It's just not. It's not with guns, and it's not with like the Civil War was back years ago. I think we're in the midst of one. To everybody's point, the UK is blocking free speech and stuff like that. It could come here. It's the world.
I think
the country's go ahead.
Craig said it best with him and the other gentleman that talked about how police are starting to stockpile ammunition because of the election coming up. They don't know which side's going to be.
That's so bizarre. Like when you look at it, the RNC, the Republican National Convention, was in Milwaukee, a month ago? And there was barely any security around there. There was no issues, blah, 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 no fences, just go ahead. The Democratic National Convention, 3 fences, extra security, blah, blah, blah.
Hold on. I don't think they did fences, but didn't they push out the area where the protesters were going to be further than they want? The protesters wanted to be in X location, but they pushed them outside of a much larger.
Fantastic! Push them out to the ocean.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's 2 sides of the same coin. So we got to look at it that.
Yeah, but Ed, they at least they protested and they were outside. They weren't destructive. And that's the whole thing. If you look at the Republicans, you don't see a lot of destruction when their feelings are hurt. It is more of the Democratic side.
The Dems kill themselves with the destruction.
Yeah, but they're always going to land on saying something about January 6th. That's their main thing. But the thing is, I mean, listen, as a history student, it literally is said in our Constitution that if you truly believe that the government is no longer by the people, for the people, and are against the public, you have every right to go against them and try and overthrow them. Our whole country is based upon that. I mean, why we had the Revolutionary War and to begin with in general. So eventually there's going to be another issue like that, and it's going to be a lot bigger because of
social. Yeah.
Mike Donnelly says, look at the DNC protesting as we talk. It's already already happening. Socialism will kill this country. Yeah, and the people that, if you're pushing socialism, you most likely have never been in a group project in your life, and you just don't know what socialism means. There's no way.
And if you've never talked to somebody who's actually, there's enough people who've migrated to this
country. But I don't want to get Gru all fired up.
Yeah, let's talk. Hey, Gru, how's socialism work?
It doesn't. Okay, socialism only works in the book of Karl Marx. It never works and never will in real life. Period.
What's the problem with it? Why doesn't it work?
Well, because there is no competition and there is no incentive for anybody to do anything. Okay, and it's all government controlled, and government cannot do stuff. Okay.
I mean, just look at this panel right now. We're not all equal. It's just very, very easy. Throw out sub 60, obviously. Okay, but even if you take
whoa! Why are you throwing me out?
I'm being nice. That's me being nice. I'm just saying, if you just we're going to all play a basketball game.
I'm point guard.
I don't know how tall you guys are, but Hannum's about 6'2", 6'3". I'm right around the same. Okay.
I'm 6'3".
6'3". Okay.
Yeah, he's 6.
6. Guy, how tall are you?
5'6".
Okay, yeah. Do feet, don't do meters.
Oh wow! All right, short guy like me.
And Gru?
5'11".
Okay, so 5'11", and sub 60 is 2'9". All right, so it's one of those things.
Whoa! What? 4'2". Oh, come on.
You're not 4'2".
Oh no, I can guarantee he's 3'5" easy.
I know. Get a damn yard.
I literally hate you all.
I want a yardstick.
I hate you all. One day we're going to all do this live, and we're going to have a live measurement of me.
I want you to. Okay,
we're going to all meet somewhere, and we're going to do.
Is that a normal Coke can?
That's what she said, Ed.
Okay,
hold on.
Back up. Put it next to your chest.
Yay.
And so, what's a Coke can? 6 inches.
I don't know.
That's what she said.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it's about let me see.
So
Let me see if it's
Coke can is taking up half your chest. So that Coke can is taking up half your chest.
No, it's not half my chest.
So you're about 8 Coke cans high.
No, I'm about no. Let's do Subway. I'm about 2 foot long Subways.
That's 24 inches tall, dude.
No, actually, no. I'm at 4.
You loud that one up for me, sub 60.
I know. I did. That was
okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. I read a study. Okay, we're going to keep this one a little controversial / not controversial. A recent study, ABC, CBS, and NBC, they call them the legacy media. Us Canadians here sure don't have much to say. I've never got 5 breaks a day of work to pray. Just saying. Good point, Anamona. No, good point. Can you identify as a Muslim?
Hey, Rubio, Nanamona has interest in being on the show, FYI.
I'm in.
Oh yeah, we talked last episode.
And so is Terry Crosby. Terry Crosby just texted me right now, says he wants back on the show. I said, fantastic.
You're in, man.
Regarding legacy media, ABC, CBS, NBC. Okay, those are the big 3. Everyone is grown up watching those, blah, blah, blah. They have the news at 4, 5, 6, and maybe 10 and 11. And everyone, you got to trust the NBC, CBS, or ABC. Her recent has showed their past month, we'll say, positive stories about Kamala Harris, 84%. 84%. Okay. Negative stories about El Trumpo, 89%.
Wow.
So he's had 11% positive stories. She's had 84% positive stories. Can you imagine if you're just the casual viewer who knows nothing?
Yeah.
How would you not think El Trumpo is the devil? That's it. That's insane. I mean, is our best hope for society that the generation that watches the news is literally just dying off?
Well, see, that's socialism. If they control the media. I think I saw it in a post a while back where it was a judge. He went to law school like in the 50s, and one of the chapters they had to study to prevent this incident was how to overthrow a democracy. So in there, it listed, this was his textbook back in the 50s, said, control the media, make people choose a side, and not for, the side of Republican Democrats. It was like we were talking about earlier, like, are you woke or not woke? Because if you're not woke, you're a racist, automatically. And if you're woke, you don't realize that everything you touch turns to shit. So when I heard Harris the other night on an interview say we all need to stay woke, I'm like, yeah, that's a problem, because that is changing the narrative to fit their needs. That's socialism.
Isn't that a little bit of communism too?
A little bit. Yeah.
I mean, 100%. I mean, when you're controlling things that can't be monitored. I mean, it's one of those things where, like last night, Joey B, they timed his meds up to where he was yelling Joey B instead of slow Joey B, which I love, the yelling Joey B, because he just starts raging. Where he said, and one of his main points was saying and Trump said he was in Charlottesville and many fine people on both sides. Like that's been debunked 1,000 times. Like it's over and over. Even like the CNN and MSNBC have said like, that he didn't say that. It's like saying Sub 60 Ed hates people that kill puppies. All right.
I do.
But they took it and said Sub 60 Ed hates people.
Oh, I do that too.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying. And it's one of those things that, like, those are easily verifiable. Like, this is not true. I mean, this is easily fixed. Or how last night they kept saying El Trump wants a national ban on abortion. He's come out and said it 100 times.
Right.
It said it's state to state.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Kyle, what's your thoughts? And then I'll go to Sub 60.
I don't know. I mean, now my generation, I'll tell you what, I don't know a single person that watches the news. I really don't. I mean, because we grew up. I mean, our parents would watch like Fox or CNN or like the Today Show in the morning when we were getting up and going to school. Like that's probably the only 2 times that I've ever sat down and watched the news is when I'm getting ready for school and I'm trying to wait for the bus, or I'm hanging out with my grandparents watching and hanging out, and he's watching CNN in between flipping back and forth to the History Channel. I can say that's probably the same thing for almost everyone in my generation. Everything that we get from the news comes from TikTok, Snapchat, or something that pops up on YouTube. And nowadays, it is kind of easier to find someone or to find news outlets that are really one-sided, or they just don't take sides at all. Like if you look at like something like Vice News, they don't take sides at all. They go down, they break down everything, and then they just tell here it is for your digestion. So I feel like sooner or later, I mean, you could also look at like the turn of like the newspaper, right? When was the last time you guys bought a newspaper? Everyone gets all of their information online. So sooner or later, these news stations are just going to die off. No one's going to watch them anymore. I mean, I don't think I'm going to grow up to, watch Fox News in the next 10, 15 years.
You're agreeing with me, Kyle, that basically the next generation or the current generation, let's say, I guess it would be the boomers, they are, not to be mean, they're dying off.
Yeah.
And so are their news habits. Guy, what's your thoughts? Because you don't even get damn news up there.
Man, I don't know. What was the question?
What was the question?
CNN, NBC,
more like slanted propaganda. Yes, just Serrano's coming in hot. Crazy Man, we'll come back to. I got you, Sub 60. Go ahead, Sub 60. Then Crazy Man. Then Guy once he wakes up.
I want to say 2 things. One, I agree with Kyle. It's left and right media. There's maybe, like you said, Vice, and there's one other that might be more kind of just open. And to your point, Rubio, if you don't know coming in, you're going to be influenced. And even if you read it, both sides are going to the social media influencers and inviting them to their conventions because they know that's where it is. My problem with all of that is, it's like all the the Dems are like Trump's the devil, and the Republicans are like she's a communist. Let's put all that shit aside. Let's talk about how you're going to fix. My problem is how are you going to fix the economy? How are you going?
Well, you're never going to find that out because she hasn't talked about her policies and she won't do an interview.
But neither is he.
Yes, he has.
No, he really has.
Yeah,
he's talking about raising tariffs. He hasn't put his whole.
It's on his website.
But it's on the Dems. The Dems have theirs on their website.
No, it's not. That's my point. It's not.
Yes, it is.
It's really not. It's not. It's not. And she won't sit down for an interview. So someone can say, like, okay, what's your policy on this? We're going to fix the inflation. Okay, how? But she doesn't do an interview. It's been 28 days.
Right.
No one can talk to her.
Yeah. Oh no, I get that. Oh, I get that. And she needs to get in front of somebody. I agree. Absolutely.
But she can't.
Right. But
and that's when I speak to people.
No, she can't. She chooses not to. You said she can't. She chooses not to.
She's not choosing not to. They're choosing not to for her because they know when she gets in front of a camera, it's like diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah, she turns into the freaking word.
Right, exactly.
Answer a question.
Right.
Like just
but here's my problem. People are not voting on policies and stuff. People are voting on what they hear. She's a communist. He's an authoritarian. Let's get away from the name calling and get into the policy stuff. They both really haven't gotten into the policy stuff.
But
but he sits there, Rubio. He sits there. His people are even pissed at him because he sits there and rambles in his.
Because he's a real person. He's not a politician. Sub 60 Ed. Where are you getting this information from? Let me ask you that. Where are you getting this information from?
I'm getting it from different newspapers, the right newspaper, the left newspaper.
What's a right newspaper?
Don't
Washington Examiner. The Examiner. I read the Post. You guys know that. I've said that. But I watch Fox, I watch CNN, I watch MSNBC. I flip through them all.
I've showed you who to follow on X.
Right, but I don't follow. But I don't do enough on X.
Well, you need to.
I think we truly haven't had a true person out there in the media since, I would say, Walter Cronkite. He did not choose sides. He was right down the middle. He called both sides ugly if it was ugly. But, I mean, you have the left and right papers, as Ed said. You have the left and right media. I mean, unfortunately, people need to be educated. And when I taught in middle school, I would actually give them two different types of questionnaires. One, it said that they were Democrats, and the other, they said they were Republicans. Both sides will say what you want to hear. Unfortunately, we as voters have to find which is closest to our values, when it comes to voting. You can't go by the celebrities. You don't go by the pro athletes. You have to be educated. And you can't, I mean, as I say, you have to be the author of your story. You have to feel comfortable. If you don't go out and vote, you have no room to say what's going on in this country. And I know a lot of people that, even at my age, that don't vote. And they complain what's going on, but they don't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, they're it's called a dipshit. If you're going to complain about it.
Hey, how can we get Guy to vote here? We can get him to vote, right? He doesn't have to show ID. We'll bring him down.
Show up.
I haven't told you who I vote for yet, though. How do you know you'd want me to vote?
No, it's all right. I'm not voting for either one of them either, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
What about Robert Kennedy? What about JF?
Yes.
That's my guy.
I'm going with.
I've actually voted. I wrote in a vote because I did not like either candidate.
Let's start this. Let's get me in there. Sub 60 Ed.
Rubio.
Candidate.
No,
Rubio president.
They got to redo the whole damn podium.
That's all right. Come on, man. Think about it. Think about it. The first sub 60.
It wouldn't be the limo, Ed. It'd probably be like a Mini Cooper.
That's fine. I'm all right.
Well,
Hey, you
A
know
couple
what?
phone books for him to
You know
reach
what?
the mic.
Hey, here. No, hold on a second. Here, I'm gonna. That would save the Secret Service money because they wouldn't need as many. They all talk about what I need, like 2 people around me.
Well, they're not doing anything anyway. Don't worry about it.
Or a few
Yeah.
votes.
Anyway,
All right, it's up 60. Do you have a winner tonight?
what a surprise! I'm not sure I follow that, but okay. A winner tonight? I don't know. I'm gonna give it to Guy.
Well, I was
That's
about
a
to
mercy.
That's a
You're not
mercy
supposed to
vote.
take to win.
No,
Not
that's
to take
mercy.
to
He
win on
likes
this show.
magpies. I'd give it to Kyle. He's probably the smartest 20-something I've seen.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? Yeah, actually, it's co-winners. It's Kyle and Guy because he's my Canadian, and Kyle, per my friend Jim Scrano, smartest 20 guy 20-something he knows.
I appreciate that.
What's the
On
prize?
that note, make sure you guys like, subscribe on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Make sure you share. If anyone would like to be a guest on the show, you can email decadesshow24@gmail.com. That's decadesshow24@gmail.com. Thank you for everyone tuning in. We really appreciate all the comments. Have a great night.
Later, y'all.